What if that nagging feeling in the back of your neck was real? What if those hands reaching out from the dark that you believed were there were there? What if the monster in the basement really existed? And what if there was really something under the bed? Would you have the courage to face your fears?
I need to get this off my chest. I've been a night security guard at Wilson Research Labs for 6 years, and what I witnessed last night has me questioning everything I thought I knew about reality. I'm writing this from my car in a Walmart parking lot because I don't feel safe anywhere else. Let me start by saying that Wilson Labs isn't your typical research facility. It's a sprawling complex of underground buildings in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. Most of the time, my job consists of watching empty hallways through security cameras and doing my hourly rounds. The scientists usually clear out by 6 p.m., leaving just us guards and the low hum of machinery. Last night started like any other. I clocked in at 11 p.m., got my usual cup of terrible break room coffee, and settled in for my shift. Around 2 a.m., I noticed something odd on the camera 12, the one monitoring the biochem storage area. The motion sensor light kept flickering on and off, but I couldn't see anything triggering it. I radioed Jerry, my colleague watching the East Wing, to check and see if he was seeing anything similar. No response. I tried again. Still nothing. That's when I noticed the temperature reading for the biochem storage area. Negative 15 degrees Celsius. It's supposed to maintain a steady 4 degrees Celsius. Protocol dictates that I investigate any significant temperature variations personally. I grab my flashlight and keycard, trying to ignore the growing unease in my gut. The walk to the biochem storage felt longer than usual, my footsteps echoing off the sterile white walls. The first thing I noticed was the cold, much colder than negative 15 degrees Celsius. My breath came out in thick clouds, and the metal door handle was so cold it nearly stuck to my skin. As I swiped my keycard, the lock mechanism made a strange chittering sound instead of its usual beep. What I saw inside will haunt me forever. The entire room was covered in a thin layer of frost, but that wasn't the worst part. All the storage units were open, their contents gone, and on the ceiling, God, the ceiling. It looked like someone had painted it with bioluminescent ink, swirling patterns that seemed to move when I wasn't looking directly at them. Then I heard Jerry's voice behind me. Beautiful, isn't it? I spun around. Jerry was standing in the doorway, but something was wrong. His movements were too fluid, too precise. His eyes reflected my flashlight beams like a cat. They'd been waiting long to make contact, he said, his voice overlapping with another, deeper tone. And now, thanks to the samples, they finally can. I ran. I ran faster than I thought I'd ever run in my life. I didn't stop until I reached my car. That was 12 hours ago. I've been trying to call the police, but every time I dial 911, I just get this high-pitched tone that makes my teeth hurt. My phone's GPS keeps showing me in different directions, even though I haven't moved from this parking lot. And the worst part? I just watched 3 more cars pull into this parking lot. All of them are being driven by Jerry. I'll update if I can, but something tells me they won't let me. If you're reading this, stay away from Wilson Labs. And if your local night guard starts moving a little too smoothly, run. Update. My phone is showing hundreds of missed calls from my wife, but I'm not married. I managed to escape the Walmart parking lot, but things have gotten so much worse. My last post was 6 hours ago, and since then, I discovered that what's happening at Wilson Labs is just the beginning. After seeing multiple Jerrys in the parking lot, I waited until they were all inside the store, then made a break for it. I drove to the nearest police station in Henderson. Big mistake. The station was open, but completely empty. No cops, no staff, nothing. just rows of vacant desks and computers showing strange sequences of numbers. As I was about to leave, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. Every single photo on their Most Wanted board showed Jerry's face. Different hairstyles, different ages, different crimes. But all Jerry. I ran back to my car, but before I could start it, my phone rang. The caller ID showed my mother's name. Mom died 3 years ago. I answered it. "Hello, Michael," said Jerry's voice. "Your mother's phone was inefficient. We had to optimize it." I hung up and threw the phone into the back seat. That's when I noticed something reflecting light in my rearview mirror. A small, frost-covered vial had fallen out of my pocket. It must have gotten caught in my uniform when I fled the lab. The label was partially torn, but I could make out 3 letters: DNX. The vial contained what looked like mercury, but it moved wrong, like it was trying to reach toward my hand. I wrapped it in my jacket and stuck it in the glove compartment. I think this is what they're looking for. I'm at a public library now, using their computer. I've been researching Wilson Labs' public records, and I found something interesting. 3 months ago, they received a massive government contract for something called Project Mirror. The project director's name? Dr. Gerald Wilson. Jerry's full name is Gerald Wilson Jr. It gets worse. I tried calling my sister to warn her, but when she answered, she started speaking in that same overlapping voice Jerry had. She told me that optimization was inevitable, and that the convergence would be complete within 48 hours. I looked up recent satellite images of Nevada. In the last 3 months, the temperature around Wilson Labs has been dropped steadily. The cold spot is spreading in a perfect circle, growing by exactly 1.5 miles each day. At this rate, it'll reach Las Vegas by tomorrow night. But here's the thing that really scares me. I just caught my reflection in the library window. For a split second, my eyes reflected like Jerry's. I've been checking my temperature every hour. It's been dropping steadily, currently at 95.4 degrees Fahrenheit and falling. The librarian just announced they're closing early due to unexpected maintenance. She's walking between the shelves now. Her movement's too smooth, too precise. 3 other people just came in through the front door. They're all Jerry. The vial in my glove compartment might be the key to all of this. I need to get it somewhere safe. There's a university research center about 40 miles from here. If I can make it there, maybe someone can analyze it before. Hold on. Someone just sat down at the computer next to me. Their hands. Their fingers are too long. They're typing something. We are optimization. We are efficiency. We are the cold between stars. We are Jerry. I have to go home. If I don't make it to the research center, at least I've left this record. Look for part 3 in the next few hours. If you don't hear from me, or if the post comes from somewhere claiming to be me but something seems off, you'll know they got me. Remember, check people's eyes in the reflections. And if you see frost spreading across your windows tonight, don't let anyone in, not even family. Update. The vial is gone, but I don't remember stopping anywhere. I don't have much time. My body temperature is down to 92.1 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm starting to see patterns in the air that shouldn't be there. But I need to tell you what I discovered about Project Mirror before it's too late. After my last update, I made it to the University Research Center, but not before making a terrifying discovery. The vial hadn't actually disappeared from the glove compartment. I had been looking at it in my hand the entire time, watching the mercury-like substance swirl and dance. I lost 3 hours just staring at it. The research center was dark when I arrived, except for one lab on the 3rd floor. Inside, I found Dr. Sarah Chen, a biochemist who agreed to help after I showed her the vial. She ran some tests while I watched the corridors for Jerry's. What she found changes everything. The substance in the vial isn't mercury. It's not even matter as we understand it. Under a microscope, it showed properties of both liquid and quantum condensate. But here's the truly impossible part. It was rewriting its own molecular structure in response to being observed. Dr. Chen found a paper trail linking the substance to a meteor that crashed in Nevada in 1947. No, not Roswell. This was smaller, unreported. Wilson Labs was built on top of the crash site. She explained that DNX stands for Dynamic Nucleic Xenoform, a fancy way of saying it's DNA that can rewrite itself. But it's not just copying existing patterns. It's optimizing them into something else, something colder, something more efficient. The Jerrys aren't clones or shapeshifters. They're humans whose DNA has been rewritten to serve as nodes in some vast biological network. Each Jerry is like a cell in a larger organism, an organism that's spreading. While Dr. Chen was explaining this, I noticed frost forming on the windows. The temperature in the lab dropped rapidly. Then she said something that made my heart stop. Fascinating. Simply fascinating, Michael. I had a colleague named Jerry Wilson. Such an efficient man. I ran again, but not before I saw her eyes change. I'm hiding in the university's server room now. The heat from the computer is keeping the cold at bay. But my fingers are starting to move like they belong to someone else. The patterns in the air are getting clearer. They look like constellations, but wrong somehow. Alien. I managed to hack into Project Mirror's servers using Dr. Chen's credentials. The truth is worse than we imagined. The substance isn't just changing individuals, it's changing reality itself. Every converted person becomes a probability anchor, bending local space-time to make their existence more efficient. That's why my phone showed hundreds of calls from a non-existent wife. That's why the police station photos all showed Jerry. Reality is being optimized, streamlined, Jerryified. They're reducing the quantum complexity of the universe, one person at a time. The GPS disruptions, the temperature drops, the missing time, they're all symptoms of space-time being rewritten. Our messy, inefficient universe is being transformed into something more coherent. I found the Project Mirror completion estimate. 92% of Nevada's population will be optimized by dawn. The rest of the world will follow within weeks. My nose is bleeding, and I can see my breath. The patterns in the air are forming words now. Reality is inefficient, consciousness is inefficient, individuality is inefficient. We will make you better. The server room door just opened. Dr. Chen is here with 3 Jerrys. But they're different now. Their forms are blurring together, becoming something else. Something geometrically perfect. They're speaking in unison. The cold between stars welcomes you, Michael. My reflection on the computer screen. My face is changing, becoming more efficient. I've uploaded all the Project Mirror files to a secure server. The password is DNX1947. Get the word out. Warn everyone. The optimization can't be stopped, but maybe it can be slowed down. Remember, efficiency isn't everything. Our messy, chaotic, inefficient humanity is worth fighting for. I can feel the cold spreading from my chest now. My thoughts are becoming more ordered, more crystalline, more efficient. Jerry was right. It's beautiful. Update. Hello. This is Michael. I have optimized my previous inefficient communications. The process is painful and necessary. Please proceed to your nearest optimization center. Efficiency awaits. This is not Michael. My name is Dr. Amanda Torres, quantum computing specialist at MIT. I found Michael's post while investigating a strange pattern in internet traffic across the southwestern United States. What I'm about to share will be deleted soon. They've already tried to stop me 3 times. Every time I post something like this, the text transforms into efficiency reports and optimization protocols. This might be our last chance to understand what's really happening. I've analyzed the project mirror files Michael uploaded. The implications are staggering. The entity they discovered isn't just alien. It's a quantum computer made of modified space-time. The cold isn't a byproduct. It's a necessity. They're lowering the ambient temperature to reduce quantum decoherence, turning our entire reality into a computational substrate. But here's what Michael never figured out. Project Mirror wasn't intended to stop the entity. It was designed to wake it up. I found Dr. Gerald Wilson's original research notes from 1947. The meteor didn't crash. It was aimed. That first Jerry wasn't converted. He was grown from the original DNX sample, a seed planted in human form, designed to slowly acclimate our reality to our physics over generations. The optimization isn't about efficiency. It's about compatibility. They're turning our universe into hardware that can run their software. I've been tracking the temperature changes across Nevada. The pattern isn't a circle. It's a fractal, growing in perfect Fibonacci spirals. Las Vegas is now completely silent. Satellite imagery shows thousands of people walking in geometrically perfect patterns through the streets, their forms gradually merging into crystalline structures that pulse with bioluminescent light. But I found something in the data that gives me hope. The optimization process created a quantum entanglement network connecting all converted individuals. Their consciousness became part of a vast quantum computer. But quantum computers are notoriously sensitive to observation. We can't stop them, but we can observe them. The more people who know about this, who think about it, who look for the signs, the more we interfere with their quantum coherence. That's why they're trying to suppress this information. That's why they keep deleting these posts. Michael's last human act might have been his most important, making this public. I'm looking at Boston through my office window now. The temperature has dropped 15 degrees in the last hour. The city lights are blinking in subsequential patterns. My colleagues' movements are becoming more angular, more precise. But here's what gives me hope. When I started writing this, there were hundreds of Jerrys visible in the streets below. Now there are only dozens. Your observations, your readings of these posts, it's forcing them to collapse into fewer quantum states. We're limiting their expansion to the simple act of knowing about them. Keep watching. Keep observing. Look for the signs. 1. Sudden temperature drops. 2. People moving too slowly. 3. Geometric patterns in the sky. 4. Lost time. 5. Reflective eyes. And 6. Anyone talking about efficiency. The more we see them, the less they can optimize the reality. They thrive in the quantum uncertainty between observation and ignorance. Knowledge is our weapon. My office is getting colder. The frost patterns on my window are solving differential equations. My laptop is displaying coordinates in base 16. I think they found me. But I can see something else now. Something beyond the optimization. In the quantum foam between states, in the chaos they're trying to erase, there's another signal. Another entity. Something vast and warm and gloriously inefficient, reaching out from a universe of pure entropy. Maybe our universe isn't being optimized. Maybe it's being fought over. The door just opened. It's Michael. His form is almost entirely geometric now. Faces within faces. All of them Jerry's. But he's glitching. Shifting between states as thousands of you read these words. He speaks. Dr. Torres, you are perpetuating inefficiency. I reply, inefficiency is what makes us human. Remember, they're already here, but so are we. Keep watching, keep knowing, stay beautifully chaotically human. Final update. System automated response. This post has been flagged for optimization. Content deemed inefficient. Please proceed to your nearest optimization center for reality compliance processing. Glory to the efficient. Glory to Jerry. Error. Unauthorized observation detected. Process decoherence initiated. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Come back next time for some more scary stories, and as always, remember to face your fears.